Ever since watching the Korean drama My Love from the Start, I have been loving the galaxy pattern. My first galaxy DIY is actually a memory jar. You can find that right here or find the link in the description. Now I'm going to be doing additional DIY projects with the galaxy pattern. The concept is pretty much going to be the same, but I will be using them on different objects. I'm not going to go into too much details because I will be making an individual video for most of the items here to give you additional tips as I did make some mistakes. Before we get started on the real materials, I always recommend you to practice first so that you don't make mistakes or make less mistakes at least. So in this video, I have several DIY projects. I'm going to start out with my favorite ones. My favorite one is this DIY shoes. I love this, but I have not tried them out yet because it is still drying. My shoes are already blue, which is a perfect background for this DIY galaxy. But for some reason, it didn't look as well as the original blue color that I picked. So I end up going over with the blue that I like. To do this galaxy pattern, what you want to do is create different blocks of the colors you have picked. I am only using two colors actually. I'm only using the purple and the blue. So you can start out by working with one of the colors. For example, you can start out with the blue and then make blocks of that color in one session and then move on to another session, leave space in between them so it kind of looks scattered. Then with the other color, which is purple in my case, I then go in and fill in any gaps that I didn't do with the blue color. For anything that needs to touch each other, I kind of dip a little bit of the blue and then a little bit of the purple so that they kind of blend in together. But since the material is canvas, it actually turned out to be pretty easy to do that blending part. It turns out to be looking better than I expected. As of the bottom part of the shoes, it's up to you whether you want to color it or not. I decided to color it so that everything looks unified, and also because if you had to do tapes around it, it's kind of troublesome, and I was like, I'm just going to go without tapes. So yeah. After you have painted the shoes, the next step we're going to do is to take a white acrylic paint and use a brush. You dip the brush into the paint and then just kind of stroke with your fingers to create that scattered effect that will create the stars in the galaxy. That step is a must. Without that, your galaxy is going to look really plain. Once you add the white dots to the galaxy, it's going to bring the galaxy to life. I mean, not the real one, but you know what I mean, right? And after I finish this one, I'm going to work on the other one. DIY galaxy project number 2 is a galaxy hat. This one comes in black, which is another perfect color to be used as a background. Because of the material of this hat, it actually took me more layers than my galaxy shoes to create the same effect. And not to mention that my background is already black, it's going to take more paint to actually bring out the color. But even then, the final result actually turned out to be pretty cool anyways. You are pretty much going to be doing the same thing as you did with the shoes. Create different blocks of the colors, and then once you finish that, just use the white paint to create the stars. For this one, it's completely okay if you still see the black background because it actually turns out to be better looking than the blue one. So for this one, don't worry if you missed out some of the spots, you can leave them as it is. DIY galaxy project number 3, we are going to make a painting. My walls are really plain. After the Thanksgiving, I already took out the decors, so there's nothing on the wall. So in here, we are going to make a canvas art. So using the same steps that I used for my galaxy shoes and the hat, I'm doing the same thing here. Since the background is white on the canvas, you definitely want to make sure you fill in everything, every part, and then add the stars. Even after adding the stars, I felt like it was kind of plain. I mean, if you like how it is, you can definitely leave as it is. What I did was I ended up looking up for a quote that I like and I wrote on it. And the quote that I decided to use is, "Life is too short to wait." And then a little heart. That was actually a mistake, but yeah, I fixed it by turning it into a heart. And my goodness, I can't believe how hard it is trying to write with paint. So you definitely want to be very patient if you are trying to write cursive, and your cursive might not turn out to be the way that you want it. But I think mine turned out to be alright, and I like it so much after I add a quote on it. Lastly, we have this DIY galaxy box. Now for this one, because it has a black background, originally I was going to make a polka dot box out of it, but my sponge, that little circle sponge, ended up looking pretty funny with the white polka dots that I tried to make. So instead of polka dot pattern, I end up turning into a galaxy. If your box has any labels, you can also use the black paint to paint over it instead of tearing off, because mine wasn't going to come off easily. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to paint it over. So I paint any non-black sections black. After painting the surface black, I just paint the galaxy onto the top of the box. I decided to do just the top, and I can't remember why. All I know is I just want to do the top, I think, something like that. So yeah. And that concludes my 4 DIY Galaxy projects. I hope you enjoyed. And if you want additional details on the individual DIY pieces, remember to subscribe so you get notified when I upload new videos that will show the details on how I did the individual pieces. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you missed my last video, you can click here or the link in the description to see it. The last video I made was for Thanksgiving, so that was a while ago. Even though it was made for Thanksgiving, you can still use the DIY idea for any other occasions. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!